What's going on, YouTube? I thought I'd like to give some thoughts on the SVS PB16 Ultra. This thing is a structural monster, man. This thing is a phenomenal subwoofer. I have a in the basement, as you can see. It's not a very big basement, just on this side, so I have it put in this corner. I'd like to position it different, but that's fine. This subwoofer took place of my JL Fathom Volume 212, which was 1800 RMS. The SVS is a 1500 RMS subwoofer with 5150 peak power. It wipes that JL, it destroys it. When I had the JL and the SVS running together, you could tell that they did not kind of go as well as I thought they would, so I decided to get rid of the JL. When playing the SVS Ultra by itself, this thing blows me away every time. If you guys are in the market for a subwoofer, this one is only $24.99. Now you're like, oh my God, that's expensive. The JL that I purchased was $5,000 at the time. When I was looking at subwoofers, I'm a subwoofer buff as well. I like Klipsch, I like them all. The other subwoofer that I do recommend to people is actually Definitive Technology, the Supercube series. They are very small subwoofers that put out a lot of power. But if you're trying to build just a basic home theater system, I recommend Klipsch tower speakers. Right now, my system is I sold it, but then I'm starting to rebuild it. The reason I recommend Klipsch is because it's a cheap speaker, but it is definitely very loud. And actually, for the price, you get good quality out of them. These are the Klipsch Icon series. These are not the R28Fs. As you go back to the subwoofer, the reason I want to talk about it is because I saw a couple videos and people were saying that if you don't go dull, you're wasting your money with the SVS. That is completely false. If you have the perfect room setting, if your subwoofer is placed in the right spot, this one subwoofer is phenomenal. Of course, adding a second sub would just would even out the bass and make it a little bit better. But this SVS by itself, in this corner, if I sit in my room right here, all the bass comes onto me. No matter what movie you watch, what music you watch, it hits you directly right into the chest. This is the hardest hitting subwoofer I've honestly ever had. It can go down to 13 hertz if you plug the middle hole. But guys, I cannot stress to you enough, if you're looking for a home theater subwoofer, this is great. But for some people, you guys are like, well, yeah, no, he might be right. I need to get the most expensive subwoofer. You're very wrong about that. If you're just starting out and building the home theater, or you've messed with home theaters before, you will also know this. Depending on the size of the room, you don't need a 5,000 RMS sub to blow people away. There's a Polk Audio sub that is 100 watts of RMS. When placed into the right corner, it sounds brilliant. Why? It's the placement. It's how you place your subwoofer. You don't have to go out and buy this $20,000 subwoofer like the Gotham that JL produces. All you have to do is when you buy a subwoofer, find out the perfect placement for it. Put it on your sitting place. Put the subwoofer here. Crawl on the ground until you find a place that you feel where the bass hits you the best, then place your subwoofer. What guys tend to do is they hear, well, oh man, if we go out and buy this big-ass subwoofer, there's going to be one company I'm going to tell you to stray away from. And this is from past experiences. I'm not a big fan of JL, though I do think JL makes a beautiful subwoofer, a powerful subwoofer. When you have any questions about it, they're going to tell you these exact words. They're going to say, well, you need to buy dull. But when you buy dull from JL, you're looking at $10,000, or you could literally just buy their miniature version of the Gotham, which is 3,600 RMS for about $7,000. But then they'll tell you that no, you got to have dull. So the reason I go against dual is because for some people building a home theater on a budget, now you're like, well, how the hell did you buy that if you're on a budget? When I first saw the SVS, I turned it away because I went to the JL store out by me, and I'm like, oh man, these subwoofers are nice. I bought it, I used it, I liked it, but then I came across SVS, I saw the reviews people were doing on it. I like the size of it as well, a 16-inch woofer. I mean, you really can't go against that. But the problem that people are going to run into with this subwoofer is it's hard to, I kind of like to hide my subwoofers in a good corner, like in a corner behind a chair, so no one knows where the bass is coming from. With this damn thing, we're going to probably try to put it in the laundry room. It will distort the bass probably a lot, but it's hard to hide this big-ass thing. That's my only problem with this product, is it's such a monster. Look at that. What's she doing? Yeah, walk away. Yeah, you know what you did. This product, I cannot stress so enough, if you are looking for a subwoofer, it's $2,500, or you can even get the sealed version for $19.99. And she's back. And she thinks she's so cool. You will not go wrong with SVS. I get a lot of questions from where I work where guys are saying, what should I buy? I did buy the Sonos full surround sound bar and sub, and I will be honest with you. That is also a very nice system, very clear. I like the way it sounds. You can do the true tuning with your iPhone, and you can really make it into something great. But guys, I can't stress this to you enough. Don't go out and blow, if you don't have the money, thousands of dollars on tower speakers. These Klish speakers get the job done. I did have a Klish centerpiece and 2 backs, but I sold them to my buddy, not even thinking. And when I sold it all, when I got the SVS, I just wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. And though I will say this, JL does make a hell of a subwoofer. When I disconnected the JL and played this one by itself, it wiped the floor up with the JL. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are like, well, the RMS. I'm telling you this right now, some of the best subwoofers I've heard, honestly, didn't even have that high of an RMS. Now, some people, they chase the big bass. They want the big deal. They want the good deal. 2 of these PB16 Ultras would be phenomenal. They'd be great. But if you don't have a movie theater setting, like I have a basement, right? And if I moved my basement around, I could put one in that corner, one in the other corner. It'd be perfect. But what I've come to find out about bass so far is if you put it in the right, and people will tell you this, everybody's going to tell you to go dual. Go dual. You got to go dual. And you know what? They're not wrong. There's a lot of advantages to going dual. The only disadvantage is, though, it's a lot of money. So if you're looking to build a home theater, I always do this. Start off with something simple. I started off with a Polk Audio. Okay? I had 2 Pro Studio speakers. I had 4 subwoofers. 2 Klish, 2 Polk Audio. Daisy chained them all together, and that system was phenomenal. I had an amplifier for my 2 side speakers, which were the 15-inch Pro Studios. And let me tell you something right now. That had a shitload of bass. More bass than anything I've ever had, until I started dabbling in the SVS and all that. With this, at one point in time, before the SVS was a factor, I had a JL and 2 other Klish subs. I daisy chained the Klish subs together. And let me tell you something right now. That system was nice, but I've come to find out that when you do buy a subwoofer, you want to try to buy one of the equal power. So when I bought the SVS, I thought, hey, maybe this will work out. And I'm not going to lie, I think I did see a setup where a guy had 2 SVS Ultra 16s and 2 JL 13s. Now that is what I needed, because the JLs, they talk to each other. When you have dual subwoofers, they talk to each other if they're the same brand. At least this is what I was told by a JL worker. Kind of wish I would have listened to him at the time when I had money to blow. I probably should have bought 2 of the 12s while I was there. The reason I didn't, because they were $5,000 a piece, or $4,500. I think it ended up being like $47 after tax. And when I go back in there, and I tell them that I was asking them stuff, and they say, oh, well, how's your JL doing? Oh, I traded him for SVS. They tell me that was the biggest mistake I ever made. So then I told them this. I spent $2,500 on a subwoofer that, even though the RMS is higher on the 13 and all that, my peak power reaches past all their subwoofers besides the Gotham. But yes, the peak power only plays for a short amount of time, I know that. But when I look at the SVS, it is a structural beast. I don't know about you, I love big bass boxes. I do. It's always been a thing for me. I know size doesn't always matter when it comes to subwoofers. You're right. There's some guys out there. I watched a couple videos the other day on this particular subwoofer, and people want to knock it down because, you know how people in the comment section, I'll stick with my Velodyne and stuff like that. Also, a subwoofer is also your personal preference. If you're a beginning home theater person, you're not really sure what you want. I mean, you might be chasing what the movie theater has to offer, but I'm going to tell you something right now. If you go online and you just go to clutch.com and you build a complete system for, I think it's $1,500. I cannot stress this to you enough. That clutch system will definitely get you by, and then you can slowly but surely upgrade. Honestly, guys, I want to sell this one because it's so big, and I wasn't going to get a definitive technology. But the only thing is, the Super Cube, I believe it's the 8,000, does 1,500 RMS, but I don't like the way the definitive technology subs are built. But the reviews in definitive technology are freaking phenomenal. So I will be adding a second PB16 Ultra, though, for sure. And you're probably like, well, why would you do that? I'm a bass freak. It's just that simple, man. When it boils down to it, I want the pictures to fall off the wall. I want the floor to shake. I want that JL and this SVS, when a good part of the song come on, like Put On by Kanye West, it would literally shake the floor. You could feel it shake underneath your feet, and it was phenomenal. I mean, I've had people come over here and say, well, how the hell do you afford all this stuff? Well, it's simple. I work a lot of overtime, but it's worth it because I like coming home and rocking out, and I know that's a subwoofer my neighbors can feel in their house, and I know it pisses them off, and that's why you do it. I mean, why else do you do stuff? To piss people off. It's fun. The other thing is I like to talk about before I get off here, they want to talk about boomy bass. Richer people like a clean-sounding subwoofer, and I agree wholeheartedly that you don't want your bass box to rattle. You don't want your subwoofer to bottom out when it gets too high. I've had subwoofers that they've shut off. It was hilarious. It just shut off. I thought I blew it, but it turns out, I guess, the amp couldn't handle it no more. I don't know what happened. But I'll close with this, guys. When you're building a home theater, you don't have to chase what other people are building. There's people out there with money. There's a guy on YouTube that has like 3 Clutch La Scalas. I saw like 4 SVSs. That's like a $30,000-$40,000. No, that's more. That's about a $50,000 system right there. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. Don't be chasing that stuff. It's not worth it. You can build your own home theater. You don't have to have a big ass expensive SVS subwoofer to have a badass home theater. I'm telling you right now, there are subs out there that are dominant. You just got to find them. It's your personal preference. But I want to give a shout out to SVS. And if you guys are literally in the market and you want a smaller subwoofer that's really badass and you got some money, JL Audio. I cannot stress this to you enough. That JL Fathom 12 V2 was a bad mother trucker, man. This SVS beats up on that, but the 13 that JL makes for a little bit more money, that's a bad son of a bitch itself. But let me know what you think about the SVS if anybody has one. I think it's great. I give it a, look at that. Boop, 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 boop. Thumbs up. Sorry, that was dumb. This is what happens when you got a lot of downtime. Peace.